Here doing a video chat. We thought we'd kind of document the album and have a chat about it for our own benefit, and also for anybody that follows my music and obviously Elliot's music, to kind of find out how we made Nothing Changes If Nothing Changes. So welcome, Elliot. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Nice to see you. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias to you, my friend. I'm going to kind of do a track by track review of the album, and just kind of, I've scribbled down some stuff that I thought of straight away when I thought about each song. You know, get our kind of thoughts and you know, memories, and Elliot's going to talk a little bit about what he did production wise as well. So if you're a producer, might be a good thing for you to kind of see how he came up with certain stuff, which I think might be interesting as well. So
determined, you ain't gonna define me, but everywhere I go, everything still reminds me of that taste of not being enough when you left me for dead.
So I've put, okay, although it's the opening track on the album, it was actually one of the last songs we recorded. What I remember is the point where I was probably questioning the remote recordings process more than at any other stage. So we recorded this album, certainly the second half anyway, quite a lot remotely, where I would send Elliot my vocal, and then we'd work on a production around that vocal. So after the first day of recording this one, I was worried we drifted a little bit too close to the reference track that we discussed. And I remember feeling that the bridge in particular really needed us both in the same room, experimenting with a chord structure together. And also remember, you were fasting that day, weren't you? Do you remember?
I was, yeah. Yeah. I do
so
remember.
you were on this like mega fasting session, and it was fine. And I think till sort of like 3/4 through, and you sort of hit a wall a bit.
Yeah, I did. You're right. No, it is unfortunately something that you can come up against during a fast. But I won't talk about fasting, because I could talk about that for quite a long.
That's another video, isn't it?
That's another video. But I think it's as well that time of day. It can sometimes it can go one or two ways when you're working on a song. You can either really get into a momentum and start like really feeling the song and understanding where it's going, what it's going to be, or if you have a really productive start of the day, which I think we did, then it can sometimes, you can hit a wall at that point of the day too, where you know you're sort of you're spent for ideas, or you know maybe you need to walk away from it and come back. I think it was the next night I put it on at home and I listened to it. I was like, this is fine. Like what were we worried about? Like
do you know also as well, like we've had this both one way and the other. Like you mentioned, like you hit a wall at a certain point in a session and you're kind of struggling, and it's probably the good time to maybe stop. But you've already set the day up, you know. But I've also remember the other point where you know, like where you're in a momentum, and I remember like you've got, like I've seen that you've got so many ideas that you want to get in, and you've got, you know, limited time to do it. So you're scrambling to go, oh, I've got this, and I've got, you know, I want to change that sound and do this and whatever. So it does work both ways, doesn't it?
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's creativity comes from emotions, and if you're in a certain state of mind, it is absolutely going to affect what you do. So you do have to be careful with that. I mean, we had it on a previous, on one of the previous albums we worked on together, where I actually received some news on the phone mid toilet break or something, and it was to do with my band, and it was all a bit came back in, and it was, do you remember that session? I can't even remember the song, and the rest of the day was basically a write-off. It was just like, okay,
Yeah, and
pushed
also,
through, but it wasn't good. It was like, right, well, let's just do a whole new session on this song, and then it would obviously, like always, we managed to get it over the line and happy with it. But, yeah, and I think all, everyone goes through this because life is relentless and it always throws things at you, and you have to just muddle on. You can't. I mean, you
100%.
can stop for it. You could stop and say, well, but it's. I think if you always did that with life, you'd struggle to get anywhere because there's always things popping up here and there. So that side of it, I think, is quite a hard thing because it's good. It's good and bad. It's a sort of double-edged sword, that one, because it's good because you have the pressure a good pressure to get the work done. Yeah. But then there's also a pressure that, like you say, like if something wasn't quite working for whatever reason, whether it's because I'm fasted or some news coming in or whatever.
Sometimes you're just not reading it as well.
You can't cancel and just like, oh, let's just stop. Let's, so I think it's good. It's a good pressure, really, because it just means that the work gets done and all that. But like say, like the best thing about music, I'd say, like, well, our process too is like, even if there is a deadline and we do have like these limited session times due to budget restraints and things that we always can say it's not there yet, or we're going to leave this as a demo, or we'll revisit this another time, and like we'll do another song and then we'll come back to that. Like we still get that final say, and I think that's why we always get the result we get, because there isn't like an end pressure. We're quite sensible there. We always leave ourselves that wiggle room.
Definitely. So going back to this song, what are your memories of it?
Well, first and foremost, it's the reference track, the Justin Timberlake reference track. It's a really huge favorite of mine. So that was like, as soon as you sent a brief through and said this is the kind of direction, I was like, yes, I've been wanting to do a song like this. So instantly I had all the enthusiasm and I was just raring to go, mate. So we got the production cooking quite quickly because it was just, I knew exactly where to head with it. The hardest part was to obviously steer clear of that, being such a fan of the song, and that's the hardest thing. It's too easy to do it almost. So it's like, right, we need to think more deeply here about this and take it somewhere different. And and I'm really pleased we did, and like, it's come out really well.
Yeah, excellent, good. All right, well, that's the first track. Let's listen to track 2, which is Butterfly. See what we can come up with there. I've got some thoughts myself, but we'll have a listen and we'll go from there.
Breathe, don't know how beautiful, butterfly, floating across the room, butterfly, begging me to chase you, butterfly. Why my butterfly? Your smile takes my breath.
Where do we start on this one? Well, first of all, this is in some ways it's the most difficult one to remember because it's the first one, and it was actually the sort of spring summer of 2022. So so that's crazy, isn't it? So this is what I wrote down. But Butterfly was a pivotal song in many ways. It was actually the first track we recorded together for the album, and if I'm honest, I was pretty nervous going into it. After making the previous album Healed, I wondered whether the magic was still there and we could create something just as special again. Fittingly, Butterfly felt very transformative from the very beginning, and for me, uplifting and exciting. Looking back, what do you remember from those sessions, and did you feel any pressure, being it was a new project?
Right, so firstly, I'm going to throw a question straight back at you because it's so long ago I can't remember.
All right, okay.
At that point, did you have the album title?
No.
Right.
No. Oh, it's good. That's a good question because it's so long ago.
The reason I say it, because obviously nothing changes if nothing changes, and like whether we knew it then or not, like I felt like we'd changed something big with this song.
Yeah.
It was the first one where I put live bass in, Like,
Yes.
and like I'm no bass, but I mean I'm a drummer, keyboardist, dabble with guitar, but like, so kind of I wouldn't go, oh yeah, I'm a bass player, but you know, like just taking that kind of leap of faith and thinking, well, I can hear what I want to do. And I was playing around with the bass, you know, in session time, which you know can be risky, because if it doesn't go well, you've just wasted like an hour or two like trying to put a part in. But I knew exactly how I wanted it to sound, and I knew that the you know kind of MIDI bass wouldn't do it justice at all. So
yeah, definitely, yeah.
that was exciting.
I think whether we had whether I had the title or not, I felt like, I'm sure we sort of said going into this song, which was the first one, that we wanted to do something different anyway. Maybe I had the title, certainly for the majority of the album I did, but I can't remember being it was the first song, whether that was kind of locked and loaded at that point. But certainly I think in the discussions that we had, I'm sure that we sort of said, look, let's push ourselves,
boundaries.
Let's do some stuff that's different. And like you said, live bass being one of them. And I think I'd even said, you know, I'd like to have more live instrumentation on it anyway.
You did. That is true. You did say that with this album. So that has featured throughout, really, and it's
I think it's improved the overall sound as well, isn't it? Definitely.
Well, you get more feel from it for sure. As good as all the MIDI instruments are, and they get more and more lifelike all the time. But there's just so many tiny nuances from like playing a live instrument, like, you know, the fret noise of the bass, or almost dare I say it, the imperfections that like kind of make it. And true, like, especially groove. Like groove is one of the most important things. You just don't get that same groove from programming. You can, but it's very labor intensive. So I feel like that was for me, that was like that listening back to that song, that for me is the bass is the part that made it like transform, and it was like, here we go, this is a vibe. You know, the beat, all of that was cool. I think at the time I've been listening to a lot of Weekend. He was quite a big deal at the time, so that kind of 80s electronic 808s, 707s kind of drum kits, they were quite in fashion. So yeah, tying all that together. And also the disco side of it. I mean, it was so nice to do something upbeat straight away, because I don't know if many people know this, but like writing an upbeat song is actually really hard. It's a lot easier to write a moody song. Definitely, mate, and certainly from being more of a lyricist as well. Right, it's much easier to write a sad lyric than it is an upbeat lyric. You know, like, because how do you get across that kind of euphoric feeling? You know, so yeah, no, from both sides. But I felt straight away, I don't know about you, I felt like this is special. Did you? You know, I felt like this is you know, potentially going to be above anything else I've done up until that point. And also, didn't we? We were saying that this has got like straight away single potential, and the commercial aspect, it was definitely there. Definitely, yeah, no, and it's funny actually, because the video that we shot for it, which I'll try and insert a little bit if I can, the room that we had a mirror ball, didn't it, behind it? Yes. And it was kind of so fortunate, because I feel like that kind of set the tone for the album anyway, didn't it? Yeah, it was that kind of much more disco vibe, and again, that was kind of quite that was on the bubble in the pop world too. So it's good timing. Even now, like 4+ years later, I feel like it's, in terms of like the production, the vocal performance, the vibe, it's kind of as close to perfect as I wouldn't. It's one that 4 years later, I don't feel like, oh, I wish we could go back and do this. I don't feel like I'd ever want to touch this one. Agree, completely agree. And it hasn't dated or anything. It feels like it's. That's why it had that feeling, because it felt like we'd just created a timeless song, and that's the one. I think that was a timeless piece of music right there. And I guess because of that disco influence, and some reason disco never goes out of fashion.
No,
great music.
Yeah. And the other thing I remember doing as well, I don't know if you remember, it's just come to mind. Harry Styles' "As It Was" out when this was
Right.
out, and I you know, obviously it was a huge song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And do you remember at the beginning of that song is that "Hello, Harry"? There's like there's a little child talking, and then it starts. And I wanted something that kind of introduced the song before it started, you know. So
Yeah.
I think we played that at the time, and then came up with this. I just want you to notice me, you know, like, yeah. So that, thanks, Harry.
Yeah, thanks. I'll let him know next time I see him.
Yeah, cool. So next time we see him down the pub.
Yeah. No, it was good. I think them sort of moments are really important in songs too, because even as simple as this, if you're playing that game where it's like guess the song in 3 seconds, you know, you play the first part of the song. I mean, that's always a great indicator of a good song. If you can hear a few seconds and go, stop, I know what that is.
Yeah,
And that hook right away.
Yeah, it has got that for sure. Yeah, great. Yeah, I love, you know, just really fond memories of that one.
Yeah.
So really cool. Okay, let's go on to track 3, which is "Take Me Back," and then see what we think of this one.
So take me back to those times when we all find mistakes we made didn't block out the sunshine. Back to those streets where we will all meet and laugh about nothing, 'cause nothing is all that.
Okay, so here are my thoughts on "Take Me Back." One of my strongest memories of making "Take Me Back" is the risk that you took with the tempo. We'd already recorded all of the vocals, but you felt the song needed a bit more energy and momentum, so you increased the BPM after the fact. That meant the vocals had to be stretched slightly to fit the new tempo. At the time, it felt like quite a bold move. What led to make you make that decision, and were you ever worried it might not work?
Yeah. There's always a worry that
you weren't worried. I was worried, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, there's always a worry that, you know, like, am I being crazy here? But over the years, and obviously working with you, we've built up a good working relationship over the years. Like, definitely. I don't know, I've just learned to trust the process and trust the gut feeling. And I definitely think it paid off. I think it was one of those situations where could there be a sort of loss of quality, or in the like the tonal quality of the original audio take? And I thought at the end of the day, even if there is, or if there is at the point like to detriments the song, and like, oh no, you know, it's not sounding as crisp as it could, then I was generally thinking like, we'll just re-record it. But obviously, again, like we said with the previous song, like, you know, there can be time restraints, budget restraints that mean we can't do that. But we pushed it to a point where I feel like the song had the energy and the pace that it needed. Because the verses were quite long actually, and I think having that even slower tempo would have meant like you're waiting too long to get to the chorus. So that for me was like, let's keep it driving like a train and get to that chorus. And yeah, I love it. It's funny actually. This song I remember more about the video than the song.
The first thing I remember, let's talk about the video first of all, just briefly. The first thing is, I think it was the hottest day of the year.
Correct.
We were filming it in your dad's garage, which made it even hotter.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a suit, you know, and yeah, I'm trying to walk upstairs with no sidebars. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was trying to go up the stairs without sort of like stumbling, so it didn't look like I was going to stumble, which is not easy in the shoes I was wearing because I don't wear them very often. So there was it took more to, I think it took longer to record the opening shot of the video than the whole rest of it. I think the performance part, I think we recorded that performance part in about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It was right at the end of the day.
right at the end of the day.
And that's 3/4 of the video, isn't it? But yeah. But the other thing,
we had some creative ideas for the video that were like quite labor intensive to get right, which I'm really pleased because like they paid off, and it's
definitely,
it was different. It was,
definitely. The other thing I remember from the recording of it, the actual song, was I actually recorded the vocals with you at the studio in Highfield Studio, and I remember, you know, the bit, I'm starting to forget. So tell me I'm wrong. I think I recorded that once and blew my voice out because I really wanted to get that emotion of that part of the song. I'm starting to forget.
Yeah, the grit.
Yeah. And I think I only did about 1 or 2 takes, and it was like, I don't think I can do anymore. But luckily,
that was enough.
It was enough. Yeah. So, but I think that's one of the best bridges that we've written actually for the album. I really love that part.
I really look forward to that part too. So when it comes out of that into that rewind sound and like taking you back, and it's just, it feels like you're going through that little journey with the lyrics, and also like from a production point of view, it's got that kind of nostalgic feeling of what I would imagine your youth growing up, that kind of 80s, like with the 70s slight disco-y crossover, but like real 80s kind of vibe.
It definitely had the whole thing had quite of a retro thing, didn't it? And even some of the images that we put into the video were kind of retro, like some pictures of, like you say, I think, you know, when I was in a band when I was like, I don't know, early 20s or something like that. So lots of good memories with that one actually, just across the board. It was a nice track. I enjoyed that. Okay, so track 4 is Delusional. Do we even need to listen to it? I've listened to it about 1 million times over the last couple of weeks.
It is the most fresh, isn't it? It is the most fresh. I'll spin a little bit.
It's the lead single, but certainly have a listen to you because I want you to.
I finished editing the video a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. It was only like a week or 2, wasn't it? So yeah, I mean, if you want to listen to it, of course, let's have a quick listen anyway.
I blame the music when I should have asked for help. Who did I leave behind? What is the price they're paying? Where will it all end up? When will I hear what you are saying? Delusional.
Okay, so these are my thoughts on Delusional.
Cool.
I think, well, I'm going to give you some props here, mate.
Okay.
Delusional is probably the song where you as a producer exceeded my expectations more than any other song on the album. I thought it was a strong track, but what you did with it for me was like, I didn't think it would even get to that point. You know, like you elevate. Wow. I felt like you elevated it beyond what I'd written.
Wow.
So thank you, mate, for that one.
Mate, no, pleasure. I mean, it's I felt that when I got the vocal through, I'll throw it back at you.
Go on then.
Got that vocal through, it was so powerful. Like, you know, obviously, you know, to the listener, I get sent a vocal from Alan, and that's it. So it's like I don't have any music around that, but I'll hear the vocal, and like hearing a vocal in isolation is quite a strange thing because you're like, okay, well, where's this song going?
Yeah, you got a lot of dots to join, aren't there?
A lot of dots to join, and the verse is kind of like a lot lower in kind of dynamics and pitch, and it's kind of lower down. And then when you have that explosive, I blame the music, so I was like, wow, and it made me sort of sit back in my seat. I was like, that's a performance, you know. And as soon as I'd heard that, I knew I had to like step it up. I had to do something to match that, you know.
Oh, thank you. No, so there we go. We patted each other on the back with that one.
Yeah. People will be commenting, "I get a room." You know, after hearing the vocal, and it like I say, it was a really passionate vocal performance that you'd sent across. So I just felt piano, you know, like just that kind of cinematic feel straight away. Rich piano, simple, don't overcook it, let the vocals speak. And that weirdly for me, it's one of the easier productions I've done, I think.
Well, I say if it was easy, you came up with some really great elements to it, and props to you, mate. No, definitely. It's what do you think about? What's your thoughts on the video? Because obviously we've just finished editing it, and it's just gone out there.
Yeah, super fun to do. So second time at Mars Studios, and we love that place. It's a great studio for anyone that doesn't know. It's you can hire it in London.
Certainly cost effective, isn't it? In terms of, you know, it's accessible for probably most people, I would have said. So if you are an artist that looking for a venue for a video shoot or a photo shoot as well, it's definitely affordable, isn't it? And
it's got an infinity wall, which for anyone that doesn't know, it just kind of, you know, it looks like the rooms.
Yeah, it looks like you're in a massive space.
Massive space, but it's not. I mean, it's quite a size, but it's not like as big as it can look on camera. So it has the curved back, but it's great. It was a fun day. We had some great helpers, Rosie and Sam, who were a big help on the day.
Yeah, definitely. And I think going in now, kind of with a loose, well, not loose, a fairly structured idea of what we wanted to get out of the day, certainly kept us on track to deliver. You know, we knew where we were going to start the video. We knew that there was going to be some kind of transformative element to it. And I think it really paid off. I think it's probably one also as well, you know, one of the things that I'm guilty of maybe at times is being a little bit too serious. And when it was Sam actually that said about, you know, like throwing the mop around and, you know, bopping with a mop and all that kind of thing. And I was like, really, you know, like, do I want to be messing about like that? But I think that comes across really good. You know, it's the first time that my wife has watched a video and I'm watching her reaction as she's watching it, and she sort of like, her face sort of lights up, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, like we've captured something there. If it's making people feel, you know, making them smile.
Well, it's that thing I think I said to you at the time. It's like letting loose and just, you know, like you say, like we all take life too seriously at times.
Yeah. And I'm, you know me, mate. I'm really passionate about my, you know, our art and the way it's presented and all of that. So for that reason, you know, like I do take it really seriously. But there's also, you know, like having fun is part of it. And I think we've had a bit more fun with this album than we have probably the previous two as well, you know, like being a bit more chilled about it all. And I think again that comes with experience though, doesn't it?
Experience and taking 3 years to make.
Absolutely, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, it's a real cool track. Okay, let's move on to Apart, which is track 5.
Can I just finish one more thing on that track?
Yeah, of course.
Just say, one of the most fun elements of that was the synth at the end that builds, because I'd heard something.
Yeah.
Told you it was like a.
Yeah, that's right. It was like an evolving thing, wasn't it? So it was sort of like starting. You know, if you could kind of, it's starting down here somewhere, and it sort of goes up and up and up. So by the time you get to the final chorus and that kind of outro, it's like it's really it was also kind of, I said to you, like, let's pull it back slightly, because I felt like it was almost taking over the vocal. But yeah, no, I think it was that was definitely a key element, wasn't it?
Well, we said like there was this thing of like the delusion, like going crazy in your head, and
how'd you portray that?
That synth was perfect. I'd seen like a reel of another producer who'd done it, and I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly the sort of thing we need. It's like it's that, like, it sounds a little bit wild because you've got like a series of the same note, and then the pitch they all go off in their different directions to form the chord, and then it gets more and more crazy each bar, and like the chords get more like deep, and it was that like kind of overwhelming feeling in a way, and it's like I want that to kind of wrap around the vocal.
Yeah.
It was that was a big element of the song. I remember we took a long time putting that in, but
I think didn't you use some kind of plug-in or something and then you said, oh, actually there's something else that I can use, and you changed it and put it through that, and then
I had to remake it all again.
That had like loads more options.
Oscillators,
oscillators. That's
it. I think I was with the first one I did. I was limited to 3 oscillators, and then I realised actually I need more than that, because I wanted the chords to get really big and lively. So I had to remake it all the next session, but it was totally worth it because it came out.
Props. Going back to props to you, mate. It was like that whole thing of like, you know, the song's called Delusional, and I think you captured that feeling in it, that there is some, you know, like when your mind's foggy and you're not sure about what's going on and all of that kind of thing.
It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? Like just kind of
that's it.
Like head spinning with ideas and thoughts.
That's it. You capture that really well, mate. So congrats.
Yay. On to the next one.
Okay, Apart.
Oh, mate. Come on.
Apart. It's better for me and for you. A new start. Now we could be different people. Oh my heart.
So let me say what my thoughts first. Apart was probably the idea I was most excited to share with you. I'd never written anything quite like it before. For the first time, I felt I was drawing inspiration from 2 of my favourite artists, James Blake and Ry X, and trying to channel that atmosphere, emotion and space into my own songwriting for the first time. It felt like a really creative leap for me. What do you remember about hearing the song for the first time, and how did you approach bringing that vision to life while keeping it true to my own sound, or our own sound?
Yeah, I mean, hearing that vocal for the first time, it was and obviously you did have your brief had the reference tracks and the artist,
and also the tempo, didn't I? I said it was 6/8,
and like hearing that and knowing that's immediately, it was like, okay, you've left the space, and I thought this is exciting for me as a producer, because there was, again, hearing a vocal in isolation and there's that much space, it's really weird. Like it's like, oh, look at all this room, like, and it's probably like, you know, a testament to you, mate, because I know when you said like putting down a vocal, like it could be like very easy to fill up all the gaps and not leave space because there is nothing else. But by leaving all that room, it gave me a lot of freedom to have some fun, and obviously I think what also really helps is that like we both listen to these artists. It's not just, you know, like I'm a big fan of theirs too. So I mean, you introduced me to Ry X and we went and saw him together, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Which was
what a gig!
What a brilliant night, wasn't it?
What a show! And all of that really helped. So it's kind of amalgamating our influences too. I just really enjoyed it. Like as soon as the vibe, the mood, like capturing that and getting the chords to sit right and the sound quite early on with that space, it felt like there was something coming, like that was really powerful.
Definitely. I feel like it's a similar track to Butterfly in terms of like, I don't care if in 20 years time I listen to it, I wouldn't want to change it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like that is it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
like,
the version of that song that
absolutely. Yeah.
It's what it needed to be.
Yeah.
Because you do get a thing where you can listen back to a song and go, oh, I could totally reproduce this in a different way. And
and there are songs that we've done that I still feel like, oh, maybe we could have done, you know, there's a couple we'll talk about that we could have done more with, I think. But but this isn't one of them for sure.
No, this is lot.
And the reason it was like so exciting for me is to present it to you, because I'm always excited when I feel like I've got a really good idea. You know, one of the things that I want to do is impress you, because like how much I respect you and everything else. But for this one, it was like, I don't know how you see me yourself, but for me, I'm thinking that you think, oh, Alan comes up with these catchy pop songs, yeah, Butterfly and Love Didn't Hurt Me, It Was You, and stuff, Any Way I Can, all those songs that are really instantly catchy. But for the first time, I was actually writing a song, as it was coming to me, where I felt like I wish I could write more of them, but they don't come to me like this very often. Do you know what I mean? Like you say, with all that space around it and that kind of atmosphere and everything else. So yeah, I was probably, like I say, probably the most excited I was out of all of them to show you this idea, for sure.
Yeah, I do remember that. I remember you was buzzing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I've got a really good feeling about this one, and when I heard the vocal, like it wasn't disappointing at all. It was inspiring. So yeah.
I think also it's probably one of the strongest vocal performances as well.
Definitely.
Because I felt like when we got the final version back, I felt like, oh, do you know what? I can sing a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
This is it. There's things along the way of this journey of remote work that we've done, because not all. There's only a few that haven't been remote. Is that right on the album?
Yeah.
But the majority of the album's remote. So Alan records his vocal and sends it to me, and then we work on it like how we are now online. And it was it was just it just landed straight away. Landed and like that, but I could also see like the progress in your home recording and stuff. Like
well, again, it's something that I'm learning all the time as well. So
you was getting like more particular every time, like, and tightening things up and really zoning in, and this one I think was the moment you really landed it nicely. And
I think I did 48 takes of Oh My Heart, because I felt like that is the key, the bit that's going to tug on people's heartstrings. So I wanted to get that absolutely right. So yeah, I think I went through 48 versions of it and thought, no, that I don't know what take it was, but it was it was key. I felt like that's the moment that I felt like would when you hear it, you'll go, oh.
Exactly. I was just about to say the same thing. Like, that's the importance of the tiny nuances in things. You taking 48 takes to find that one magic moment of that part of that song makes me go, ooh, and maybe hit a chord there.
What can I do? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's what happens, isn't it, as well, when we're working together as well, is like, if I do something that feels like, for me, raising my bar, then you want to do the same. And then I think that whole pushing each other and not getting out of our comfort zone type of stuff is what makes these things so enjoyable, and also like makes you strive to improve, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about that. I think life is about that, isn't it, generally? I mean, you've got to keep pushing boundaries and try and explore, and that's the whole point of it all.
Without a doubt.
I remember that, like we were just listening to it then, and you were saying you love the second verse, like where it starts with, it's like the brakes go on, I think I said to you when we was working on this, it feels like a train. It's got that kind of like 6/8, and then like it's just cool to like put the brakes on and go, hang on, we're going to stop. Like almost the song feels like it comes to a halt. I mean, obviously it doesn't. Tempo continues, but and then the drums come in, and like that moment, it's like not like they come in and go, whoa, crazy. It's delicate, it's detailed. And I took inspiration from what's his name. There's a Yusef Days is a great drummer, but he's all like about this like kind of
almost like shuffle,
subtlety, detail.
Yeah.
And that definitely inspired them drums in the second verse. And like, I would have loved to have gotten a kit and played, to be fair. But
I mean, maybe that's the thing we do next.
But time is
exactly, yeah.
But no, it came together pretty nice.
Great moment on the album for sure. So super proud of it. I'm sure you are too, mate.
Yeah, I am definitely.
Okay, let's have some fun with the next one then. It's Love Didn't Hurt Me, It Was You. Let's have a little listen to that and see what we think.
Now I've seen true colors, got a different point of view. And I can see it was love that hurt me. It was you.
Really cool.
Really tried to tap into that kind of the MJ or like Rod Temperton, Quincy Jones vibes at the end.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, but so with this one, this is where I felt we really hit our stride and we're having the most fun with both the writing and production.
Agree.
Drawing on this classic soul and disco references gave the song such a real feel-good vibe. So what in particular, like what songs in particular did you think, when you were creating the production, what songs, was there a particular MJ song or?
I would say an album, and it'd be Off the Wall.
That
the live band, like funky, busy, but like all the fun. It just sounds like that. You put that album on that record, and it just sounds like a bundle of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so much like little ear candy.
There's so much joy in it, isn't there?
Yeah. So that was definitely that inspiration, but also like I think from your vocal point of view, it steers it also in a kind of George Michael direction too. And I think that's a really nice combo, like the two. It feels really upbeat, but has that commercial hit. I think there was like as well, because it was again another upbeat one and that sort of soul reference of funk and stuff. I think it was also disco funk. I think it had that kind of familiarity to Butterfly, and like so that's why we were like, right, live bass again. There was things that were like, well, that worked before. Let's have some fun like that again.
No, definitely. It's good memories of that one. And I think that what's good is that we definitely have got some real light and shade on this album, and this is one of the like as we say, like the more fun tracks. Going
from Apart to that.
Well, that's what I wanted. I mean, I kind of, when I did the track listing for it at the end, I felt like I actually wanted it didn't work out actually, but what I wanted is a part to be the end of side one. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you turn it over and you start with, you start with Love Didn't Hurt Me, It Was You. Unfortunately, I had that in my mind, and then when I came to upload all the tracks for the vinyl pressing, there wasn't enough space on side two because we put that bonus track on there. There wasn't enough space for those songs to be on side two, so I had to put Love Didn't Hurt Me, It Was You on side one, which is like, I didn't want to do that, but
hey, I mean, it doesn't matter really. They're all on the album. That's what matters.
And they're in that chronicle order as well, which is what I wanted as well. What do you remember from the video?
Oh, what do I remember?
We were being in that tight space. We were in that little room down in your friend's.
In Bar 92 in Brazil.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Great cocktail bar.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's very good actually.
Again, it's being really creative. Like when we take the creativity from what we do with the music side of things, and then we have to kind of apply that to video land and come up with ideas that are cost effective, time, efficient in kind of like spaces that you wouldn't normally probably even think to shoot in. It's a great.
It was pretty tight down there, wasn't it? Actually,
It was really tight. But again, fun. Like it's just nice to push the boundaries and do things differently, and creating that kind of fun disco vibes in a tiny space like that. It was just
it was good. It was a good day. It was a long day. I remember that. I think because we went back to your studio and finished off the kind of like performance side of it.
That's right.
I think it was well after midnight or something that we finished, wasn't it? It was quite a long day.
But I mean, going back to that song, I think that like having a string intro is something I'm always fond of doing. I love program strings.
Yeah, and I'd said that the bridge. Now I see.
Yeah.
And I said, no, let's use that element, but make it a string intro. So that worked really well, didn't it?
Yeah. There's a song, or maybe there's a couple of string intro things we've done on previous albums, and it's always a fun thing to arrange strings and have that kind of grandiose kind of feel.
No, it's a cool start. Without a doubt. Good one. Excellent. All right, let's move on then. 99%. Let's have a little listen to that.
I'm over you about 99%. What I'm going through since you came away. Don't keep asking me why you left makes sense. Please just let me breathe, 'cause I can taste your sand. I still taste.
All right, so I've put for this one, 99% is one of those songs I wish we could have spent a little bit more time on. I think creatively there was still a bit more to explore, but as an independent artist, sometimes budget and time pressures means you have to let go of a track before it feels completely finished. I've always felt this one sits in that space of being very close to what it could have fully become. How do you feel about this one?
It's because you called it in the title, 99%.
Yeah, it was never going to get finished.
It was never going to get there. It was written. It was written.
Yeah, no, mate, a good one, nice one. I like that.
So no, I mean, I think it's. I agree. I completely agree with that. To be fair, listening back to it with fresh ears now, I would say immediately, I would like what would have elevated it would have been some live horns, because the horns are great, but I just think like again, there's that synthetic element. I just think if only they were real, get some players in and that would really elevate it. But yeah, I remember I do sort of feel like this one was a harder production. This one, I remember struggling with it a little bit more. Not really sure why that is, but again, this might be one of those things where it was like, had we been together, would it have been would we have worked on the chords and melody different in a way?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe so.
Maybe so. Yeah.
But we, like we always seem to find our way to the finished result, and that's obviously an important thing.
Yeah.
But I do think, what was it?
I still like it. I think it's still a good track. It's just that, I say, one of those things. I think if we'd have had a little bit more time, and like you said, like I think I'd already scheduled it to come out at a certain point and all of that kind of thing as a single. So, you have to kind of let go of it. But I just feel like, like you said, horns, I think backing vocals as well. I think there could have been maybe more of them, particularly later in the song.
Yeah.
But, overall.
It's got that, it's got the same sort of instrumentation and feel as Butterfly and what's the other one? Love Didn't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of helped it along. If anything, I think if we didn't have that as a kind of, that was almost like the upbeat foundation of the album. It was like, and I think if we didn't have that
track itself,
that for me was what steered it into a place that got us over the line. Having that similar feel, instrumentation. It's good. It's fun listening back to that. The bass, I'm quite happy with that bass sound. It reminds me of something else. It was like who was I listening to? Thundercat, and he had this
Oh, really?
kind of like quirky bass sound, and I was like, oh, that's like, you know, synth but cool and glidey.
Nice.
And yeah,
Nice.
that helped. Yeah, I've noticed a little theme here. I'm like actually focusing a lot on bass, which is weird for a drummer, but
Yeah. It was, well, it was that, again, that was something that was out of your comfort zone, wasn't it? Is
yeah.
to try and come up with bass parts when you're not really a bass player. So you did a great job in that, for sure. All right, let's go to Everyone Leaves, which is track number 8, I believe.
Maybe I'm different from how I'm perceived, but that ain't a reason to twist the knife until I bleed. I've trusted them all, how terribly stupid I've been.
Yes. Okay, so let me read out what I thought about Everyone Leaves. Everyone Leaves was the song that took the longest to get right out of all the 10 tracks. It went through more versions, more doubt, and more reworking than anything else on the album. From my side, it always felt like an emotional core was there, but we struggled to fully unlock it in the way that felt complete. But I think we finally got there. Looking back, what do you think made this one so difficult to crack?
It's a good question. I think it was it was an experimental song, and I think with experimentation comes like obviously you know that where do you go with it, because you can take it so many different ways.
Yeah, of course.
And it's sometimes that can be a bit overwhelming and daunting. Like you think, well, we could take it down this path, that path, but you have to commit to a path, otherwise you'll never get there.
Yeah,
and we sort of struggled with that at the start and went both ways, and because we did do 2 versions, didn't we? And we visited the old version in the end and went back to that because that was more on a path that we both agreed was the right path.
Yeah, well, we actually finished the track, and some of the probably the best elements of it were added on the day that we mastered the album. Do you remember?
Yeah,
we had that one day to master the album.
Yeah.
And then we opened this one up, and you said like, oh, we need to do some more stuff with this.
It didn't quite have that edge, and you know.
Yeah, and I think I remember you saying as well, like it's got a very long verse.
Yeah.
So to try and get that kind of that momentum and that ebb and flow of it was quite difficult as well, wasn't it? Because it is like, yeah, it's probably one of the longest verses that I've ever written, actually.
It's a really long verse, and it feels more like you're telling a story on this one.
Yeah, which I am. Yeah.
So it's almost like production-wise, I was just trying not to go too crazy with it and just let the story be told, keep it very minimal. So that's why in the first verse there's like almost next to no production. It's like nothing really going on. It's just like let you do the talking, and then bring the elements around it later on.
On the last bits that you added, it reminds me of Sampha.
Oh yeah.
You know, that 2.0. So I was going to ask you, was that in your mind? Obviously not. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't.
No. I mean,
subconscious.
Say that. I have been listening to that song a lot. Well, I had been probably even around that time. I mean, that song, Sampha Spirit 2.0.
Yeah,
I've been like, I've had that song on repeat when it first came out. Yeah, I think that must have come from somewhere like that. It's funny, isn't it? Because you never really know where things come from at the time.
No, yeah.
Unless you're purposely like working from a brief, and then it's like, well, you know where it's come from. But it
didn't feel obvious to me on the day. But you know, having listened to it for a few times, I feel like there's elements there that are quite similar. So just I've been meaning to ask you that for a while, actually.
No, I think that might be right. I mean, one of the, like with this production, it was like I had to revisit it, like you say, like on that last day when it was mastering, it still wasn't right, and I was like, you know, and I think it is one of those where it's more experimental. So like looking at the production in a more experimental way to find something that works for it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like your standard kind of
No,
which
no, it's very
like,
it's unusual certainly unusual for me, because I normally write, quite structured, don't I? Like it's very rigid, verse, chorus, that kind of thing.
And also, like, something I feel worth mentioning is that when you've got like everything I do, like I've kind of is a vibe related thing. Like, so like we touched on this earlier, like if I got some bad news in the day, then you could pretty much expect the rest of my day to go wonky. Like, and unfortunately, I'm very much that person. I'm quite an emotionally driven character, and I think like I actually got trapped in the emotion of the song.
I
I was kind of like, moody chords, like deep lyrics, and then I was kind of trapped in it, and I kind of it sent me into this own state, and I had to break out of it and be subjective and go, oh, this is what it needs until next day or fresh ears.
Literally right to the last minute. I remember you saying that. You said like it makes me feel odd, and it feels like it doesn't fit, in terms of like the other songs. The other songs have got, obviously have got meaning, but this one, like, it made you feel a little bit like, ugh, and it is like that, but it's a story that I really felt desperate to tell on the album, and for that reason I didn't want to let it go, and I think we just steered it around just in time, because that last day with the mastering thing, that couple of hours or so that we spent just finishing off all of those little elements that you added on that last day, it made it feel much better. All right, Bittersweet is next. I'm going to be interested to see what you think about this one, having had a little bit of time with it.
Bittersweet, I'm still feeling it when we meet. All the things that we could have been, things we said but we didn't mean.
Yeah. Well, mate, vibes. That's all I'm saying.
Vibes is the word. Anyway, personal favourite of mine, Bittersweet, is of the 10 tracks.
Yep.
It's the one song that I feel like arrived fully formed from my perspective. And what you've done with the production is exactly how I imagined it when I first had the idea. So again, props to you.
Thank you, mate.
It felt like the clearest translation from initial thought to finished song. How do you feel about this one now it's part of the album? And if it's not your favourite, which one is and why?
Oh, big question.
Yeah.
Really big question. I hate to pick a favorite because I'm proud of all of them, for the different reasons.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm sure you are too. But it's definitely up there. It would definitely be on the podium. I think it's. I think that again, it's like there's nothing more satisfying than when, like, your initial idea is super clear, and then that helps the production all flow together super clear, and it's just a really pleasurable journey because there's no friction, there's no I can't quite crack this nut. It's just like it's
totally the opposite to the previous song, actually, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love a challenge, but I really enjoy producing this one, and I love the guitar at the beginning. It's like it's like taking multiple influences that we both like Ryex, Bonobo, again with that kind of repetitive guitar lick that just goes round, and it kind of feels like it's building a 6/8 vibe, so it's got that kind of train driven I really enjoyed it, and it's the funny enough, going back to the previous song saying about getting stuck in that vibe, with this one, this was like this kind of encapsulates my favorite genre of music, really. Like I love everything. I have to. It's part of the genre. in the
Me
process
too. Yeah,
of
me
being
too.
a producer. But my absolute comfort blanket in music is this sort of warm, cozy kind of feel like I'm being hugged by the track. And this
Yeah,
song, that it's just
yeah, yeah.
like, it doesn't matter where you are. You can just if you kind of put headphones on, you just disappear into that space. So it felt very like comforting as a song.
That's
So
why that's why it's my favourite. And also, again, it's very similar to Apart for me in terms of it's kind of going down the road of where my favourite artists are and like my favourite kind of style of music. So to be able to get anywhere near that kind of vibe for me is really pleasurable.
well, and to add to that, I know you might want to talk about this as a separate thing, but I'll throw it in. It feels right to talk about now. But obviously, this is remixed by Royce Wood Jr. And like that, what I was just explaining about that like that kind of feeling and be like of my happy place, like a comforting place of genre and sound. A similar song that Royce Wood produced.
Perfect Ruin.
Perfect Ruin.
Yeah,
Perfect
yeah.
Ruin. And that's another one of those songs. That's an exact example of that. And then we had the feedback from Royce Wood himself saying that he loved the production, and it's just like, wow, that was like a moment of like, yeah, that's great.
It's a moment of validation because if anybody doesn't know Royce Wood Jr., he's a Grammy nominated producer, and we were lucky enough, well, I was lucky enough to find him on Instagram, and we kind of built up a little bit of a back and forth, and I just asked him to listen to the song and just see what he felt, and if he could do a remix for us, and kind of felt I probably won't hear from him again, one of those ones. And then he came back and said, love the track and I'll be honoured to work on it. So that's like, for me, and I'm sure for you as well, for that kind of validation kind of makes it feel like, and that's happened a little bit more recently with some of this, with Delusional and the album as a whole. Some of the feedback is getting that validation is what is kind of why we do it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like I say, like that Bittersweet for me felt like that kind of song. It felt like Perfect Ruin to me. It puts me in that emotional place, and like comfort is comforting as well, like, and just calm, and like just everything I love in music and production, and it was like great to then have him say, oh yeah, you guys, it's a great job.
Yeah, definitely. And on that, I can also exclusively reveal that it's going to be a future single, and
Nice.
off camera we're certainly going to be talking about trying to come up with a video concept that hopefully matches how I feel about the song. So I've got some big plans for that. So hopefully we can make that happen in the next few months, or maybe even into next year. I'm not sure, but
awesome.
I want to kind of put this out certainly, and also put it out with the Royce Wood track as like a little EP, so people got that kind of comparison thing that they can, because of the Royce Wood Jr. remix obviously is much more up tempo, isn't it? So
yeah, completely different vibe.
Yeah, completely different vibe. So I think it'll be a good thing to do that, to put the two out there and see which one's is a favorite, and people like just compare the two. So yeah, that's definitely in my plans for the album going forward anyway, for sure.
Awesome.
All right, so on to the last track then, which is I Love Being Alive.
I love being alive. I don't want it to end. Time is passing me by. Do I have to transcend? I love being alive. All I'm asking of you, can you just leave me here?
Yeah. All right, so I Love Being Alive is the final track on the album, and also the last one we recorded. I really enjoyed the process of making it, especially how we approached the backing vocals. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where we moved around the room.
Yeah, that was the Michael Jackson technique that I'd seen in a documentary about him and recording, and it's to do with the panning. So obviously you can just pan in the software left, right, hard left, hard right, and then mid, and then center. But this is a technique where you do an X, Y mic position, and then you move around the mic to do the panning, which gives you a much more authentic feel. Like it actually feels like you're there in the choir of backing vocals, and it's just, you can't really replicate that with the software. So again, it's that thing, it's just pushing the boundaries, going a little bit further on it. Was made it, that made the difference. Like it brought like the BBs at the end of that track, like just make, like it just lifts, doesn't it, so much? It suddenly feels really big.
100%, yeah, 100%. Yeah, so yeah, no, that was really fun. I've obviously never done that before, so to do that together was good fun, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, very fun. Yeah. No, this is the perks of getting to work together, on those moments like that.
Yeah, definitely. I won't forget that. That's another classic moment.
I think, this one, I've always got that feeling like a big band vibe, and it's kind of classic pop writing. It's classic pop production. You kind of Phineas, Harry Styles. It's just got that. But I think like what I would have liked to have explored on it would be like loads of live elements.
Loads more yeah. You could see
that kind of sheen of like, human feel and like just big band. And we were trying to obviously achieve that in a small window.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think like it is there. We got there, but that's what I would, if I was going to change anything, that's what I would. More
live implementation, yeah.
And I think that would be the thing that elevates it. Just a few live players to just kind of
definitely, yeah. This will be one that if we ever did get a chance to play live, it'd be interesting to see how this one came across, wouldn't it?
I think it would be mega.
Yeah, absolutely. So who knows? Then maybe that's something for the future. We wait and see. But
yeah.
That's it then. I think we've got a wrap there, my friend. And
yes, indeed.
And good to chat to you. Good to get your thoughts on the album, and obviously document this moment, which is like the album's been out just over a week, so it'd be good to. I felt it'd be good to timestamp it and look back at it maybe in the future. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much,
mate. Thank you for the opportunity. Love working on your music, always have, and look forward to doing more stuff.